And it's not for you, no, it became a gravity like it is for you, isn't it, for you? Hello, my friends. In today's video, I will tell the story of Larissa Adulthood, a Ukrainian woman who developed a giant tumor on her face. The mass was causing her infections, loss of vision and hearing, and when she thought all was lost, she decided to seek treatment and participate in a TV show. She made a full recovery, and the result was incredible, far beyond all her expectations and dreams. But before this video starts, please, so you don't forget, click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Larissa Adulthood, 47 years old, was born in the province of Kherson, in the southern region of Ukraine. Her difficulties began from birth during Larissa's delivery. When the midwife pulled Larissa out with the help of forceps, which, according to Larissa's mother, damaged her head. The girl developed a large hairy birthmark that covered her forehead and the right side of her face. As a child, little Larissa used to cry out to her mother in despair, asking why she had that big hairy mark. People always stared and noticed Larissa's facial marks, especially those who were often afraid of her. The condition continued throughout her childhood and adolescence. Larissa works as a cook at a preschool where she is loved by everyone. She wears a scarf all the time and tries to hide her mass as much as possible. However, the students often ask Aunt Larissa what that is. To which she replies with a smile, "I'm a pirate auntie." Larissa lives in a small village in the Kherson region, but when she leaves the village, the woman doesn't feel as comfortable as she does in her hometown. People stare at her and point at her. At the age of 23, Larissa gave birth to her first child. But that unique moment of tenderness and joy of becoming a mother soon turned into yet another difficult experience in Larissa's personal life. Without any explanation, the tumor began to grow rapidly. In a short time, Larissa also started having vision and hearing problems. Desperate, she sought medical care and was referred to an oncologist and an esthetician. The young woman was diagnosed with lymphoma, but they were afraid to operate on her due to the risk of severe bleeding. After that, she lost hope in the doctors and sought help from traditional healers. Due to her complexes and the fear of scaring others, the woman lived between work and home, depriving herself of any entertainment. She worked as a cook in a kindergarten. The children loved her very much and affectionately called her Gentle Baba Yaga. It was then that, through a reality show, Larissa sought out Dr. Yekaterina Birvenchenko with a huge tumor that covered almost 40% of her scalp. At that time, the tumor was already 23 years old. It had spread to her forehead, right temple, and completely covered her right eye and ear, which put her at risk of ear infections and even hearing loss. Due to her weakened immune system, a virus had settled in the folds of the tumor's skin, causing another disease called papillomatosis. After a long and complex examination, the doctors reached the correct diagnosis: cavernous hemangioma. But what is a cavernous hemangioma? Cavernous hemangioma, also called cavernoma, is a benign congenital vascular malformation. A person is born with it, and it is characterized by a cluster of thin-walled blood vessels forming cavern-like structures. It can occur in various parts of the body, being most common in the brain, spinal cord, liver, and in other areas such as the eye socket and skin. Among the possible causes of hemangioma are viral infections, especially if the woman frequently suffered from respiratory illnesses during the first trimester of pregnancy. The lack of normal production of hormones such as estrogen, progesterone, and human chorionic gonadotropin, chemical intoxication caused by bad habits during pregnancy, and the genetic factor. When it is of hereditary origin, which is the case of Larissa, who has had the condition since birth, it worsened when she became pregnant due to hormonal disturbances. Hemangiomas are usually identified visually or by touch, and they usually appear on the face, eyelids, neck, or forehead. Larissa's illness was one of the most severe in the first season of the Ukrainian TV show because for 20 years no doctor tried to cure her. Due to the extent of Larissa's tumor and the health problems it caused after growing on her face for almost 20 years, a more complex treatment would be necessary, lasting about a year in at least 2 stages, according to neurosurgeon Mikhail Mikhailovich. First, the tumor will be reduced by the embolization method, which is a medical procedure that intentionally blocks a blood vessel to treat a condition such as bleeding, a tumor, or an aneurysm. The process involves inserting a catheter into an artery or vein and injecting substances or devices such as coils, microspheres, or glue at the desired location to stop the blood flow, he continued. By reducing the blood flow to Larissa's tumor, this helps with its surgical removal and in some cases destroys the cancer cells. In the second phase, reconstructive surgeries will be performed, plastic surgeon Rostilov added. Despite the great risk involved, the doctors chose to act quickly and perform the procedures and such a delicate operation on Larissa, because her health condition with the tumor's growth could cause even greater damage to her health, including loss of vision, hearing, and other infections related to the disease, which the patient could develop throughout her life. The tumor was then removed in 2 complex stages. The first procedure was performed. Soon after, she underwent a major surgery, which took about 8 hours. After the procedure, the patient was hospitalized for 3 months. Afterwards, she was treated at home, took pills, applied ointments, called doctors, and talked about her condition. Next, 2 other surgical procedures were performed to remove the skin necrosis and a small tumor on the upper part of her nose. The surgery was performed only under local anesthesia as requested by the patient. Finally, another cosmetic surgery was performed where her eyebrow was lifted. Larissa explained her insistence to the team. The fact is that before the operation, which was performed under local anesthesia, I had already undergone 4 operations under general anesthesia. Everything lasted about 3 hours. It was bad, my blood pressure dropped frequently, but everything turned out fine. But now, after the operations, I was almost always very sick, having difficulty recovering. When asked by the reality show team if the result was worth it, Larissa said, "I remember well the reaction after the first one. My husband took a picture of me with his cell phone and showed me. I was all bandaged up. Well, of course I even scolded a little, but I found myself beautiful again." Such was Larissa's strength that she didn't let herself get discouraged. On the contrary, she cheered everyone up. "I didn't think about giving up or running away. I had a chance. I understand that unfortunately I had to go through this in life. After all, before the surgeries, I suffered so much with this neoplasm that all the complications that followed after the tumor was removed seemed small," Larissa vented. When asked what was the first thing she did when she got home, Larissa said, "I tried on different hats, bandanas, scarves, caps, berets, etc. I smiled, and in front of the mirror, I was able to admire myself again." When asked how her family and friends reacted to her new look, she replied, "Many simply didn't even recognize me. Of course, there are people who know exactly what clothes I wear, for example, but there are also those who didn't know. I get on a minibus, greet a friend, and I get a surprised look in response. And when I was starting to get worried about it, they recognized me by my voice and greeted me back," said Larissa. Regarding what changes happened in her life after the surgery, Larissa added, "Now I see the world with 2 eyes and hear with 2 ears. But the main changes in me happened on a spiritual level. Although I rarely allowed myself to get discouraged, I still had complexes. I just went between work and home. I didn't go anywhere because I didn't want people to see me. Now I'm an outgoing person. I like going out. I'm no longer a shy and reserved person. I bought cosmetics. I started wearing makeup, which I had never done before. I think I changed radically for the better. The result was really impressive. Besides a small scar on her forehead and some old photos, Larissa now has nothing else that reminds her of the illness. After her recovery, she is happy that she doesn't have to hide her face anymore. She goes out often, started wearing pretty hats, and now works at the kindergarten as a teacher's assistant instead of a cook. And you, who have followed Larissa's story up to this point, what do you have to say about her transformation? We want to know what you think in the comments below. If you also enjoyed this incredible journey of perseverance by this woman named Larissa, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Strengthening our work and showing real stories of overcoming adversity and hope to more and more people. Heartfelt thanks and see you next time.
Assista ao vídeo indicado.
Watch the dubbed video.
Mira el video doblado.
吹き替え版の動画を見てね. شاهد الفيديو المدبلج. 더빙된 영상 봐. Regarde la vidéo doublée. Schau dir das synchronisierte Video an. Guarda il video doppiato. Смотри дублированное видео. Dub kia hua video deko. Dublaj de videoyu izle. Tonton video yang sudah didubbing.